Hey warriors, transformation doesn't come crashing in like a storm, it arrives in those subtle, quiet instants when you decide to rise instead of crumble. It exists in the gap between the person you left behind yesterday and the one you vow never to become tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. These timeless words hold a profound reality that echoes through the ages, cutting deep into the essence of what it means to truly evolve. The ability to shift, to grow, to forge an entirely new self is already within your grasp, not waiting for some distant future or perfect alignment of stars. It's here, in this very moment, pulsing with potential. Gaze into the mirror right now, take a long, honest look. The individual looking back carries immense potential for radical change, a spark that can ignite a complete overhaul if you choose to fan it into flames. But here's a crucial insight that often slips by unnoticed, hidden in the shadows of our daily routines. Becoming utterly unrecognizable isn't merely about altering your appearance or updating your style, it's not about superficial tweaks that fade with time. It's about dismantling and reconstructing the very core of your being from the foundation upward, layer by layer, until the structure is solid and unbreakable. It's about transforming how you perceive the world around you, how you behave in its midst, and how you navigate its endless challenges with grace and resilience. Society loves to spotlight those flashy overnight transformations, the kind that make headlines and inspire quick-fix dreams, but it rarely shines a light on the unseen struggles waged in isolation, the battles that define true progress. Those pre-dawn hours when your body craves more rest, pleading for just a few more moments under the covers, yet your inner drive insists on progress, pushing you to rise and face the day with purpose. The times when those around you cling desktop to their comfort zones, content with the status quo, while you deliberately step into the unknown because you recognize that's where true evolution thrives, where the seeds of change take root and flourish. To become unrecognizable means transcending the self that once accepted mediocrity as a given, that settled for less than what was possible. It involves confronting your ingrained habits and declaring, with unwavering conviction, that no longer defines me. It requires peeling back the accumulated layers of justifications, anxieties, and insecurities that have confined you to a smaller existence, holding you back from the expansiveness you deserve. The ancient Stoics grasped a fundamental truth that remains as relevant today as it was in their era. Change is the universe's only constant, an inevitable force that shapes everything, but genuine transformation is a deliberate choice, one that demands active participation. You can passively float through existence, allowing external forces to mold you like clay in the hands of circumstance, or you can seize the tools of self-mastery and carve out an exceptional version of yourself, chiseling away at the rough edges until a masterpiece emerges. This fork in the road shapes your entire journey, determining whether you live a life of quiet regret or one of bold fulfillment. Remember, this isn't about imitating someone else, adopting a facade that feels foreign. It's about unveiling the most authentic, potent iteration of who you truly are, the core essence that has always been there. That essence has been obscured beneath years of societal programming, others' demands and expectations, and your own self-imposed barriers that you've built brick by brick. It's still there, patiently awaiting your effort to remove the obstacles and allow it to emerge, to breathe freely and expand. Your path to transformation ignites with one pivotal choice, refusing to settle for anything less than excellence, from the world and, most importantly, from yourself. It's the resolve to awaken daily and battle against the seductive pull of familiar routines that have trapped you in stagnation, those habits that feel safe but ultimately suffocate growth. Every great achiever throughout history has undergone this metamorphosis, this profound shift that turned them into beacons of inspiration. They evolved into versions of themselves that baffled those from their past, not through arrogance or detachment, but through profound growth that shattered old molds, breaking free from the constraints that once held them. Think of the philosophers, the leaders, the innovators who started as ordinary individuals but chose to pursue excellence relentlessly. Their stories aren't just tales of triumph, they're blueprints for what you can achieve if you commit fully. The journey won't be smooth, real change seldom is, often filled with twists and turns that test your resolve. Yet, I assure you, every trial, every obstacle, every urge to surrender and revert to familiarity, these forge an unbreakable resilience within you, tempering your spirit like steel in a forge. So, pause here, absorb the gravity of this instant, let it sink in deeply. This is the turning point in your narrative, the moment where everything pivots. This is where you cease being a mere observer in your own story and firmly take control, steering with intention. The Stoic ways I'm about to reveal aren't abstract ideas floating in the ether, they're practical instruments for total reinvention, tools honed by centuries of wisdom. They're the roadmap to gazing at your reflection in months ahead and hardly recognizing the empowered individual staring back, someone who has risen above the ordinary. Before we dive deeper, smash that like button to show your commitment, leave a comment sharing your thoughts and insights, pass this along to a friend who could use this wisdom to spark their own journey. Hit subscribe to join this community, we're crafting something transformative together, a movement of like-minded souls pursuing growth. And please, absorb every word, don't skip ahead, as each part builds on the last. Affirm your commitment in the comments, I choose transformation. Let's embark on this journey, step by step, with open hearts and minds. Master the art of controlled silence. Silence isn't a void, it's a reservoir brimming with insights that everyday chatter obscures, a wellspring of wisdom waiting to be tapped. Epictetus instructed, We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so we can listen twice as much as we speak. This isn't just about courtesy or social graces, it penetrates to the essence of inner authority, the quiet command that comes from within. The individual who governs their speech governs their reality, shaping outcomes through restraint rather than excess. Reflect on the former you who reacted impulsively, blurting out thoughts without filter, defending against every slight with immediate retort, insisting on dominating discussions to feel validated. That self was easily anticipated, easily influenced, and constantly surrendered influence through superfluous talk, leaking power like a sieve. To become unrecognizable, cultivate the wisdom of knowing when to withhold words and expand your awareness, letting observation take precedence. This isn't passivity or frailty, it's cultivating a quiet might that radiates without utterance, a presence that speaks volumes on its own. It's erecting an internal sanctuary where ideas ripen before expression, where thoughts are refined in the crucible of reflection. When faced with judgment or criticism, the outdated you surge with immediate rebuttal, a knee-jerk defense born of insecurity. The evolved you halts, inhales deeply, evaluates if the critique bears merit or merely reflects the critic's inner turmoil, their own unresolved conflicts projected outward. You don't lash out, you deliberate, and often, you opt for no response at all, preserving your peace. Observe the shift when you cease justifying yourself to those determined to misconstrue you, when you stop pouring energy into explanations that fall on deaf ears. Notice the change when you withdraw from fruitless debates that lead nowhere, conserving your strength for what truly matters. See how your deeds eclipse any verbal declaration, proving your worth through action rather than argument. Controlled silence fosters room for keen observation, a space where you can truly see and understand. As others prattle on, filling the air with noise, you absorb details, discern behaviors and patterns, unravel intentions and motivations. You grasp the broader dynamics while they're still deciphering basics, still lost in the surface level. This perceptiveness becomes your edge, your secret advantage in navigating life's complexities. Delve deeper into this practice. Silence safeguards your vitality, acting as a shield against unnecessary depletion. Each entanglement with toxicity, each defense to irrelevant opinions, each ill-timed word depletes your essence, chipping away at your reserves. You fragment yourself for the unworthy, giving away pieces that could be invested in your growth. The Stoics embodied this discipline fiercely, viewing words as precious cargo, reckless speech akin to squandering life force into the abyss. They selected utterances with the care of an artisan shaping marble, deliberate, exact, purposeful, ensuring every word carried weight and intention. Implement this immediately in your daily life. When provocation arises, whether from a colleague's snide remark or a stranger's judgment, embrace silence as your response. Amid rumors swirling in social circles or workplaces, remain mute, refusing to add fuel to the fire. When your ego demands affirmation, craving that external pat on the back, hold back and find validation within. Embrace the unease of invisibility, the discomfort of not being the center of attention. Let it alchemize into fortitude, building your inner strength layer by layer. This doesn't render you submissive, it makes you discerning, a wise selector of battles worth fighting. Speak only when words construct something positive, enlighten others with truth, or mend what is broken. Silence when they'd fuel disorder, theatrics, or vanity, when they'd only serve to inflate egos or create chaos. Note the reactions to your quietude from those around you. Some will squirm uncomfortably, accustomed to eliciting responses from you, to pulling your strings like a puppet. Denying that gratification strips their sway over you, reclaiming your autonomy. Others will gain admiration, sensing your transcendence beyond perpetual approval seeking, recognizing the depth you've cultivated. Your silence breeds enigma, you grow enigmatic, unforeseeable, a mystery that intrigues rather than reveals. Unforeseeability equates to influence, to power in social dynamics. When old tactics falter against you, when people can no longer predict or manipulate your reactions, victory is assured, and you stand taller. Yet, the deepest reward is internal, a profound shift in self-awareness. In stillness, your authentic thoughts emerge undistorted, clear and vibrant. You differentiate genuine self from echoes of upbringing, from the shadows of dread and external pressures that have shaped you. You unearth your true identity beyond the din of constant noise, discovering layers you never knew existed. This discipline renders you transformed. The one who craved the final say now allows misconceptions to float by untouched. The validation seeker finds security in personal truth, unswayed by recognition or applause. Begin modestly to build this habit. Select one scenario today for silence over speech, perhaps in a meeting where you'd normally interject or in a conversation where you'd defend a point unnecessarily. Sense the empowerment in restraint, the centering effect it has on your mind, the preserved energy that you can redirect elsewhere. Expand gradually, interaction by interaction, reshaping your verbal dynamic over time. Treat words as scarce treasures, not discarded stones scattered without thought. When you do voice them, audiences attune, leaning in because they know you eschew frivolity, your expressions carry weight, resonance, and purpose. This foundational Stoic practice anchors transformation, serving as the bedrock for all that follows. Command your silence to command yourself fully. Command yourself, and emerge as an enigma even to your own eyes, fortified, sagacious, navigating existence with understated assurance that requires no fanfare, no loud proclamations. Affirm this in the comments. My silence is my strength. Let it be your mantra as you practice, a reminder of the power you hold. Rebuild your daily rituals from zero. Your existence is the aggregate of your habitual practices, the sum total of what you do repeatedly. Alter those practices, and you alter your trajectory, redirecting your life toward new horizons. Seneca advised, every night before sleep, ask, what weakness overcame I today? What virtue gained? He recognized that transformation resides not in dramatic flourishes or grand events that capture attention, but in modest, consistent deeds performed in privacy, away from the eyes of the world. Scrutinize your mornings authentically, with unflinching honesty. Do you clutch your device before rising, immersing yourself in others' worlds prior to greeting your own, letting notifications dictate your first thoughts? Do you hasten through dawn in a haze of distraction, already feeling defeated before the sun has fully risen? That's not a ritual, it's capitulation, a surrender to chaos. The emerging you claims the dawn, dictating its tone rather than yielding to whatever comes, setting a deliberate pace for the hours ahead. Demolish obsolete routines mercilessly, without sentimentality. Discard any that hinder advancement, that keep you tethered to old ways. This isn't about overburdening yourself with more tasks, it's purging mediocrity, reinforcing habits, and instilling excellence, fostering ones that align with your vision. Commence at awakening. Take profound breaths, grounding yourself in presence, grateful for the renewal of another day. This anchors mindfulness, countering the mental frenzy of worries and obligations that often flood in. Then activate physically to awaken your body fully. Bodies aren't meant for sedentary leaps from bed to screen, from rest to digital overload. Ambulate around your space, extend your limbs in stretches, perform calisthenics or simple movements, reaffirm vitality and capability, reminding yourself that you are a being of action. Stoics train physically for mental rigor, not mere aesthetics or vanity. Discipline in the flesh fortifies the spirit, a lesson often lost in the indulgence of hitting the snooze button repeatedly, delaying the inevitable. Nourish your intellect next, feeding it substance over superficiality. Absorb elevating material, philosophical texts that challenge your views, wisdom-laden works that expand your perspective. Prioritize pages of profundity over mindless social scrolls that drain without giving back. This pivot alone catalyzes unrecognizability in months, reshaping how you think and process information. Yet, pitfalls abound, overambitious overhauls that try to change everything at once crumble under the weight of reality's pressures. Avoid that trap. Adopt one ritual at a time, embed it unyieldingly until it becomes second nature, then layer another on top. Construct transformation incrementally, like building a sturdy wall brick by brick. Evenings hold equal weight in this reconstruction, as they bookend your day. The prior you likely tumbled into bed post endless browsing, mind racing with unresolved thoughts. The renewed you reflects intentionally. Seneca's inquiry is a guide, non-judgmental observation of the day's events. Journal briefly, successes that deserve acknowledgement, shortfalls that offer lessons, adjustments for the coming day. This cultivates rare self-insight, halting repetitive errors through pattern recognition, turning mistakes into stepping stones. Prepare for the morrow with foresight. Arrange attire to eliminate morning decisions, outline your initial duty to hit the ground running. Minimize decision drain that saps mental energy. Each preemptive choice conserves vitality for essentials, for the moments that truly count. Treat slumber as sacred, a vital component of health, consistent timing to regulate your internal clock, a dim and chill environment to invite deep rest, device exile to prevent blue light interference. Honor restoration is growth's cradle, not something to skimp on for illusory productivity gains that often backfire. These seem elementary, intentionally so, designed for sustainability. Intricacy falters under life's unpredictability, sustained simplicity yields wonders, creating profound shifts over time. Consistent basics outpace sporadic spectacles that burn bright but fade quickly. Rituals forge identity. No daily deliberation on exercise or reflection, it's innate, woven into who you are. Surroundings will detect these shifts gradually, declining nocturnal invites to protect sleep sanctity, choosing reading amid their swipes, remaining unwavering amid others' volatility. Some may deride at first, let it affirm your ascent, unsettling their inertia with your progress. Inquiries on your metamorphosis won't pinpoint spectacles but these unglamorous consistencies, the quiet commitments that compound. Reconstruct rituals, dominate dawn and dusk, midday aligns naturally as a result. Not fleeting zeal, but enduring framework propels unrecognizability, providing stability amid change. Affirm, I rebuild my rituals. Repeat it as you implement, letting it guide your actions. Cut dead weight without guilt. You can't ascend to your destiny while burdened by those insisting you remain stagnant, anchored to the past. Marcus Aurelius counseled tolerance for others, strictness for self, but tolerance has bounds, limits that must be honored for growth. Evolution demands prioritizing self-growth over outdated loyalties that no longer serve. Assess your closest connections. Do they propel or restrain you? Champion progress or undermine it subtly? Evolve parallel or tether you to bygones that you've outgrown? This examination stings, clashing with doctrines of unconditional bonds that society preaches. Yet, such myths confine you to smaller versions of yourself. Authentic love, self-inclusive, occasionally necessitates departure from the unevolving, from those who drain rather than uplift. The former you guiltily excused energy vampires, endured slights to avoid appearing cold or unkind, clung to expired ties fearing solitude and the void it brings. That cost eclipsed departure's temporary discomfort. Not all merit your access, time, vigor, presents are earned privileges, not entitlements. Some belong to concluded chapters, grateful for what was, yet irrelevant now in your new phase. Monitor responses to your growth carefully. Genuine allies applaud your steps, inquire with curiosity, inspire through their own efforts. Retain them as treasures. Threatened ones mirror their stagnation in your advance, their excuses in your discipline. They sabotage subtly with jokes that cut, criticism masked as concern, or outright attempts to pull you back. Sever these ties, not dramatically with confrontations or public spectacles, but via quiet distance, reduced availability that speaks for itself, withheld aspirations from unsupportive ears. Initial solitude discomforts, creating a void that tempts refills or regressions to familiar faces. Resist that urge. Embrace the void as stoic voluntary hardship, a practice that fosters resilience and self-reliance. It affirms self-sufficiency, proving your value beyond the quantity of ties, measured instead by quality and depth. An unshared truth. Pruning invites superiors into your life. Rejecting mediocrity attracts excellence. Valuing your time draws those who do the same. Committing to growth summons kindred spirits on similar paths. Traverse sparse seasons patiently for enriched bonds that nourish. Favor compact, potent circles. Truth-tellers who speak hard realities. Accountability enforcers who keep you honest. Jealousy-free celebrants of your wins. Supportive strugglers who understand the value of challenge over easy outs. Extend this cutting to environs beyond people. Soul-sapping employment that erodes your passion. Regressive groups that celebrate stagnation. Impulse-feeding forums that amplify negativity. Appraise them ruthlessly. Excise without hesitation. Lifespan is finite. Every moment in diminishment steals from your metamorphosis. Stagnation's toll exceeds exit's unease every time. This isn't villainy, it's boundary setting, an act of self-respect. Energy protection isn't egoism, it's essential for survival and thriving. You grow unrecognizable to those who knew you as scrap acceptors, calling it loyalty. Depart dimmers gracefully, without guilt or fanfare. Proper ones comprehend your choice, improper ones validate the necessity. Trust the process. Post-prune lies alignment with your emerging self. Affirm, I cut dead weight. Let it empower your decisions. Embrace discomfort as your new normal. Comfort entombs aspirations in familiarity. Discomfort rebirths you into something greater. Musonius Rufus likened hardship to soil tilling, breaking the ground for robust yield, not a metaphor, but literal truth. Adversity fractures for fortification, allowing stronger roots to form. Most evade this reality, chasing ease, you won't, choosing instead to lean in. Prior self shunned tough dialogues that exposed vulnerabilities, lingered in stifling security even as it suffocated, favored known paths over uncertain ones, deeming ease the ultimate goal, erroneous belief. Comfort softens you, renders you foreseeable and static. If stasis sufficed, transformation would be unnecessary. Desired life awaits beyond evaded unease, in the arenas you've avoided. Invert your approach. Pursue discomfort strategically, as a forge for refinement. Commence physically. Tackle daunting exercise that pushes limits, icy plunges that shock the system, fasting amid hunger's pleas. Push beyond the point where muscles burn and mind screams for mercy, not as punishment, but as proof. Discomfort is ephemeral, you are enduring, capable of more. Bodily trials temper the mind profoundly. Perseverance rewires neural pathways, affirming your ability to handle hardship. This translates universally. The workout endurer manages. Confrontations with poise. The pain embracer faces emotion steadfastly, without collapse. Mentally challenge yourself. Read books that upend your beliefs. Tackle baffling topics that stretch understanding. Sit in silence amid turbulent thoughts. Confront avoided facets of self. Struggle forges neural bonds, expanding capacity in real time. Emotionally, immerse in sentiment sans numbing distractions. Sit with grief fully. Channel rage non-reactively, allow anxiety to flow through without escape. Avoidance roboticizes you, embracing humanizes, strengthening your core. Stoics premeditated adversities through visualization, preparing via imagination so reality doesn't shock. Apply this. Identify avoidances, career pivots needed, relational mends or ends, unspoken truths, deep fears. Thought discomfort pales against stagnation's agony. Embracing expands your capacity exponentially. Terrors normalize over time, challenges transform into opportunities for showcase. Observers marvel at your risk-taking, your composure in panic-inducing situations, your discomfort training versus their comfort hiding. Maintain balance. Choose growth serving discomfort, not destructive recklessness. Discern limits wisely, pushing without breaking. Daily, engage one unease act, hard dialogue, scary outreach, sharing vulnerable content, approaching intimidators, advocating when silence tempts. Compounded acts yield metamorphosis. Your comfort zone is a veiled cage with invisible walls. Ease thickens them, discomfort cracks and crumbles. Liberation reveals fear unfounded. Strength arrives, not ease, you grow comfortable in discomfort. That's transformation's essence. Affirm, I choose discomfort. Make it your battle cry. Rewrite your internal narrative. Your self-told tale manifests as reality, shaping what unfolds. Revise the story, and revise existence entirely. Epictetus taught, not events, but reactions matter. Deeper still, interpretations assign meaning, molding all that follows. Narrative either elevates or erodes, neutrality absent. Audit your inner voice. Tone, content, supportive or sabotaging. empowering or constraining, ally or constant doubter, often harsh, replaying failures on loop, amplifying flaws to distortion, whispering inadequacies, crafting defeatist tales of why efforts fail. Prior you deemed these facts, now recognize them as conditioning, wound speaking, fear disguised as logic, not your true self. Rewrite actively, intercept negativity in the moment, I botch always, becomes, I learn from errors deeply. Identical facts, empowering spin alters emotions, drives different actions, yields new outcomes. Stoics inverted obstacles masterfully. Aurelius, impediment advances, barrier becomes path. Reframe, dead ends to training grounds, failures to valuable feedback. Authentic reframing, not delusion, empower without catastrophizing. Job loss, failure or redirection to better. Choose the transformative lens, narrate heroically, view challenges as story arcs, setbacks as growth catalysts, doubt as fuel for forward motion. Obstacles become triumph plot points, not inadequacy proofs. External speech reinforces internal. Cease self-deprecation, victim tales that disempower. Verbalize aspirations as inevitable, struggles as resilience showcases, not hubris, but intentional self-sculpting through language. Brain trusts repetitions, disciplined narrative gathers evidence for discipline. Empowering stories embody over time, altered gait, bolder choices, vibrant aura. Deepest unrecognizability, belief shift driving behaviors fundamentally. Narrative mastery controls destiny. Affirm, I write my own story. Own it fully. Transformation is a daily direction, not a fixed endpoint. These Stoic ways, silence for power, rituals for rebuild, weight cutting for space, discomfort for expansion, narrative for future rewrite, are your keys. Yet, knowledge without action is mere entertainment. Bridge the gap between knowing and doing, that's where most people bury their potential. Act now, take one principle, send that avoided message, delete the draining contact, do the push-ups, write the new narrative. Harness the fire while it still burns. Months from now you'll either be transformed or exactly the same. That choice isn't made later, it's made right now, in this moment. Close the gap between who you are and who you're capable of being. You deserve to look in the mirror and feel proud, a promise keeper, a growth chooser, the one who became everything they said they would. Like this video, drop your affirmation in the comments, share it with someone who needs to hear this, subscribe because we're just getting started. Seal your commitment right now, type in the comments, I am unrecognizable. Your new life starts the second you decide. Let's go.